rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie, coming through the rock the spot for a few minutes, man. Just been up late night working. Just coming through the rock the spot, man. Just want to talk to everybody just real quick about a few things. Maybe not here for a good time, but maybe here for, you know what I'm saying, just to put some info out and all that stuff. Salute to everybody. Salute to all the night owls in the building. Salute to everybody. So I'm going to try to get into a little bag, just a little bit about some of the stuff that I had been hearing. And so while I can't answer everything that goes on in Knicks Universe, what I can do is pick out a topic or two, speak to it, and hopefully continue the conversation in other places like social media. So what I wanted to talk about first, why I'm here, right? Why I'm here, one of the first things I want to talk about is the New York Knicks coaching search. And why, when Thibs was fired, I initially stated that this is going to take a while, right? This is going to take a while. The Knicks are not going to rush out and hire a guy immediately because it didn't make sense, right? Basically, my mindset was if the Knicks fire a guy and immediately bring in another guy, it seems like they made the move in haste and it was not well thought out. Even if it was, the perception of it would be that it wasn't. Right? That was my thinking on it. That's my thinking on it. Right? As this thing goes forward, hearing names like Jason Kidd and I don't know. I don't even know who the other candidates are. It's like Jason Kidd and the field. In terms, if you let NBA reporters tell it, it's Jason Kidd in the field. Salute to Fritz Alcindor. Danbury Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. If you let reporters tell it, it's Jason Kidd versus the field. What I'd like to say is that I don't think it's Jason Kidd in the field versus the field. What I do believe, though, is that this is going to be well thought out. And so when I say well thought out, what I want to go by is this. Hey, Brandon Williams in the building. Salute, Brandon Williams. What's good? When I say well thought out, I'm not talking about contractual obligations between the organization and the head coach. I don't care. When I say well thought out, I don't mean, can you finagle a coach away from a current situation in order to make your situation ideal? I don't care. What I mean by think this thing out, I mean, evaluate your roster. are the individual pieces on your roster as good as you think they are? Now, when I ask you that, that seems like a simple question. Are they as good as we think they are? Either that's yes or no, right? No, it's not yes or no. Because there are factors that are in play there. Are these dudes as good as, are these players as good as we think they are based on how they produced in an environment that may not have been conducive to what their talents could be and their potential? That is the question. The question is, one of the questions is, can the next coach that enters MSG get the very best out of the players that are on the roster? And how do questions like this impact your coaching search? Do you go get a guy that you feel like can win next year and don't care about potential? But maybe you get one real run at a chip and then you pay him for 3 years for nothing to sit at home like you do with Thibs? Do you go get a guy that is in his prime years, that can see the forest for the trees? Do you go get a guy that maybe, do you go get a coach that's entering his prime years just like the players are entering their prime years? Do you go get a defensive guy to shore up your defense? Do you go get an offensive guy to take advantage of all the offensive weaponry you have? App in the building, salute. Do you go get a developer, someone that can develop the bench so you can get the very best out of your starters? Do you go get an innovator, someone with a system that the league may have problems with, even though that coach may have issues elsewhere, such as developing talent? Do you go get an innovator? Do you go get a Kenny Atkinson type? E. Gibson in the building, salute. Wise is in the building, salute. Do you double down on what you had, just a better communicator? Do you go get a Tom Thibodeau Jr. that is maybe a better communicator and more of a people person? Do you believe in what Tom Thibodeau was doing and you feel like what he was doing was right? He's just not able to do that and other stuff at the same time. So do you find a Thibs 2.0? These are interesting questions if you're Leon Rose and Worldwide West and the brain trust with the Knicks. And so while these questions seem like these are simple questions that a very smart front office should be thinking about daily, the market doesn't always provide you the asset that you're looking to fill the need that you feel like you have. I have two names in mind that I would prefer the Knicks to look at for strong consideration. But before I do that, I want to talk about some candidates that should be on the radar that are not. I'm going to talk about some candidates that should be on the radar that I know will not be on the radar, but I want to talk about them anyway. Right? One of the names that I want to talk about is Kenny Atkinson. And I know he's not available. I know Cleveland looked great in his 1 year in Cleveland. And why would Cleveland let Kenny Atkinson walk out of the door? Why would Cleveland let Kenny Atkinson walk out of the door? Why would the Knicks be interested in Kenny Atkinson, right? For a lot of you guys, you've loved the Kenny Atkinson thing for a while. I don't know what to call it. I don't know whether to call it a love affair, a sweet obsession, right? A schoolboy crush. But Kenny Anderson has been on the tongue of many a Knicks fan. Is Kenny Atkinson the answer? Kenny Atkinson in his 1 year in Cleveland looked dynamic in the regular season. But again, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round of the playoffs look like the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round of the playoffs with a different coach. Hey, App, I'm going to get to this on the Jason Kidd part. This right here, I'm going to get to this on the Jason Kidd part. But if you're pursuing Ime Udoka, in theory, if you're pursuing Jason Kidd, in theory, why not pursue your heartstring in reality? That's bonkers, right? Just throwing a name out there, Kenny Atkinson. I know he's not on the radar. I personally want to introduce him to the conversation. Here are some names that are not popular, but I'm going to say them anyway. Frank Vogel, Mike Budenholzer, and Mike Malone. Mike Malone, Mike Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Frank Vogel. You know the names. The one-time coach, the one-time championship level coaches. Right? Coaches that have taken their teams to a championship or somewhere thereabout. I think Malone has a chip. I think Budenholzer has a chip. I think Vogel has a chip. I think Nick Nurse has a chip. Clearly, they know what it takes to win a championship. Right? Clearly. Why not? Why wouldn't these people be a part of the conversation? But here is, I have 3 candidates. I want to throw those names out there just to let everybody know that this is well thought out, even though I might not be saying it in a way that sounds well thought out. So my 3 candidates for consideration: Taylor Jenkins, number 3. Taylor Jenkins is my number 3 candidate. And Taylor Jenkins is my number 3 candidate because of the 2 things that he's known for are the things that Knicks fans have been begging for. Taylor Jenkins is known for development and adapting to adverse situations. That's what he's known for. John Morant is out. Oh, yeah, we'll still win games. Jaren Jackson is out. We'll still win games. Right? Modern scheme, not screen heavy, pass the ball. Everybody touches it. Until John Morant comes back and wants pick and rolls going downhill. So John Morant could be John Morant. And it makes sense. You want to diversify the offense in case Ja's not there. Have Ja contribute to the offense. Ja don't like that. Coach gets fired. The thing I like specifically about Taylor Jenkins, is his defensive scheme is not set on one guy being the defensive stopper. That's what it is. Taylor Jenkins' defensive scheme is a team defense where everyone is involved. Everyone has roles and everyone is important. You rarely hear Taylor Jenkins say, rim protection or screen management. While all those things are important, every part of a Taylor Jenkins defense is important. If you lose 140 to 127, Taylor Jenkins is not going to say, well, we need to play hard, get around screens harder. Or if we lose 154 to 138, Taylor Jenkins is not going to be, our rim protection was terrible. Just for consideration, Taylor Jenkins, give him an interview. Why not? What would it hurt? At a bare minimum, Taylor Jenkins can tell you what's wrong with your organization in the interview process. And even if you don't fire him, you take away something from a very smart and experienced head coach. Interview as many guys as possible should be the key. My number two guy, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but my number two guy, if you're looking at a 2 to 3 year stretch of elite offense before his voice goes dead, is Mike Brown. The one thing you know about Mike Brown is Mike Brown is going to bring offense. Mike Brown can teach defense, right? He can teach offense. He can teach defense, right? But Mike Brown is like your middle school principal. After a while, you kind of outgrow his voice. But at the same time, if you're the Knicks and you're looking to get the best juice from the squeeze in the short term, Mike Brown should be considered. He knows how to handle the media, right? He's well-spoken. He's pretty good with the players. Right? My number one candidate that should be considered is a former light-skinned point guard for an NBA champion. And he played alongside Hall of Famers. And yes, he is coaching a current team. Surprise, it's not Jason Kidd, it's Tyronn Lue. I'm not for sure why Tyronn Lue is not in conversations or not included in the Knicks head coaching scuttlebutt. But the thing I do know about about Tyronn Lue is he's played point guard in the NBA at a high level, so he's experienced. He's coached 3 all-time Hall of Fame level wings, which is an immediately upgrade to us. Instead of the Knicks going out looking at thoughts, looking for 6'4" guys to guard 6'9" guys, Tyronn Lue has coached LeBron James. He's coached Kawhi Leonard. He's coached Paul George. And the thing Knicks fans have been wanting since November was more production out of our wing players. Can Tyronn Lue get Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby right while balancing out the greatness of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns? Absolutely. Absolutely. I honestly believe Tyronn Lue is the guy. One of the reasons why I think Tyronn Lue is the guy, or a second reason why Tyronn Lue is the guy, is for 2 reasons. Tyronn Lue will do this thing called experiment. When things are not going right, Tyronn Lue will mix things up, even if it calls for playing a shooting guard wing player, Nicholas Batum, at center. We know this because we saw him do it against the Knicks. We saw him do it against the Knicks. The other thing about Tyronn Lue, and this is a very, very, very strong trump card. Tyronn Lue is a player's coach. Tyronn Lue believes in things like, what do you call a thing where you rest players? Load management. Tyronn Lue believes in load management. Tyronn Lue believes in a lot of things. And while he has not won an NBA championship since Cleveland and LeBron, what I will say is, if you want a coach that's entering his prime, that is not afraid to experiment, that is a player's coach, that will have you in an effective offense, have you in a great defense, manage the entire roster, it's Tyronn Lue. So why the Knicks are not interested in Tyronn Lue, or at least why it's not made public, is bizarre to me. I'm not saying it's a misgiving on the Knicks. What I am saying is, if his name is not in the hat, make some room in that hat for Tyronn Lue. Right? The thing with Jason Kidd is this. I know we like to agree with what the media says. The mainstream media will tell us something and we feel like we're bound to agree with them because they may have a source of a source of a source who told a source who had a source. And I don't co-sign for that. I always say to you guys, trust what your eyes are telling you. Like, what are your eyes telling you? Why somebody else got to tell you what to believe? You're a fan. You see all of this stuff. You know Tyronn Lue is a good coach. You know Tyronn Lue has been in the Tyronn Lue, of all people, is the one guy I think can balance the pressure cooker of a major NBA city that has a rival in it and balance out egos from Hall of Famers. Meanwhile, Jason Kidd, we forget, has already been traded as a coach. Jason Kidd was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 second-round picks. Is that what Jason Kidd is now? Coach somewhere, get tired of it, make the organization trade him? What's the most important thing the Knicks should address this offseason? Is it a bench? Can you develop a bench, or does it have to be a personnel move? Do you have to draft a bench, or can you develop the guys that you already have? Is it your starting lineup? Can the next coach find the perfect starting lineup that takes advantage of all 5 pieces that are in it? What do you want your coach to be? Do you want him to be charismatic to the media? Do you want your coach to always have you feel good, regardless if it's a win or a loss? Is that the guy you want? You want a Tom Thibodeau? Whether you win or you lose, the coach is going to make you feel good as a fan afterwards. Is that what you want? You want grandpa as a coach? And I mean grandpa as in style, not grandpa as in age. You want grandpa as a coach? You win by 50, you lose by 50. Grandpa is going to make you feel good in the press conference afterwards. Is that what you want? Or do you want to win? Leon Rose has done a beyond commendable job, right? To me, Leon Rose right now might be the greatest team president this organization has ever had right now, and it's only been 5 years. I know that sounds crazy, right? Leon Rose in his 5+ years here may be the greatest team president the Knicks have ever had. GM, whatever you want to call it, whatever role. The head honcho, the shot caller. Leon Rose has probably been the best shot caller the Knicks have ever had. The trade he made for Mikal Bridges cemented that. You don't want your superstar dragging a bunch of dead bodies to the playoffs every year and not making it. Leon Rose choosing Mikal Bridges, trading for Mikal Bridges, trading for OG, trading for Josh, trading for Cat, trading for Dante, signing Dante, only lets you know that Leon Rose is invested for the short, intermediate, and extended term. That's why I think in this coaching search, Leon Rose is going to take his time. Leon Rose is going to take his time and pick the right guy. And if you ask me, the two guys that should be up for consideration based on Uncle Freezie's sensibilities, Tyronn Lue, Taylor Jenkins. If there is a coach outside of that group somewhere that fits, then why not? Then why not? That's all I got, everybody. I'm going to go back in here and get ready to get on these phones at 8 o'clock, man. I thank y'all for coming through and chilling with me, man, just for this. I'm going to get out of here. Peace, everybody.